and welcome into Windsor, Colorado at Windsor Stadium, where the Erie Tigers are set to take off and play their first road game in a few weeks since we went up to Montrose. Seems like we're touching all the corners of the state here this year, but we are happy to bring this to you. You know what? Our camera's sitting a little low. That's okay, because we should have a lot of fun here today as the Tigers take on the Wizards. And I tell you what, this is the fourth or fifth straight year that the Tigers have played Windsor. This is the first time that we're playing in Windsor. So it should be a fun experience today. Brand new turf field. The facility looks really nice. We're here on the visitor sideline, and so we are happy to be here. But the Tigers come in off some momentum. A big win over Broomfield just a week ago. I know some of the kids they weren't exactly talking about it. And in fact, why don't we go to that? It's time for Terence's Corner.
All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back. What are we doing today, Josh?
You're interviewing us for Terence's Corner.
All right, shut up. What are we doing, Dom?
Talking about the Windsor Wizards, maybe, because we're playing them this week.
All right, okay, well, all right. First of all, let's talk about what happened last week. Did we ever figure out who we ended up playing last week?
No.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, okay.
No. I didn't see him on the field.
Okay. Well, if anyone figured out what happened last Saturday, please let us know. We'd love to know. But who do we play? Who do we play this week?
I already told you that we play the Windsor Wizards. The Windsor Wizards.
How do you feel about the Windsor Wizards?
I've played a lot of cold games at their place, so I'm hoping it's not cold this year.
Dom, have you ever played the Windsor Wizards?
No, I've never played the Windsor Wizards. I've never played
The what? The Windsor Wizards?
That's why I like them. That's actually such a cool name. I like what they do with the W's.
All right.
It sounds cool.
Stop yet. Enough. All right. So, Wizards. Josh, you like Harry Potter?
I love Harry Potter.
What house are you in?
I love Harry Potter. Probably Slytherin.
Dom, do you like Harry Potter?
I've dabbled in the arts.
All right. So Windsor, how do you feel the game is going to go? What do you think we got to do to win this game?
Again, we got to be physical. That's been our main thing the last 4 weeks. So if we come out there and be physical with them and perform, we're gonna do whatever we want. Yeah, I just want to work on what I've been doing, and I think us as a team, we've got to just work on limiting our mistakes, because that's what's been killing us, small mistakes.
Dom, how does it feel to be a first-year starter? What's it like?
It's fun, honestly, because nobody knows anything about me. I barely know anything about me, so I'm kind of proving myself what I can do.
All right, so that's a good answer. So now it's time. Are you guys ready for the question? All right, so today's question, I'm going to ask the question. Don't say your answer out loud. You're going to whisper it in my ear, and then we're going to compare answers, and we're going to see who's correct.
Okay.
All right, so are you ready?
Yeah.
What day was the Declaration of Independence signed? Dom? Josh? Josh, come on. You got to know this, man. What year? All right. Josh, what year and what day was the Declaration of Independence signed?
I said July 4th, and then I didn't know the year, so I just said 1890.
1890? Dom, what year?
1776.
Wow. So, Josh, how many years off were you, Josh? 124 years off. Dom, how does it feel to get the question of the day? Wait, that's not the right amount?
No.
Not?
76.
Josh, remember when I asked you, is a hot dog a sandwich? And you said yes.
It kind of is.
Do you still think that?
I mean, it could be considered one.
Why?
I don't know. Why would it not be? It's 2 pieces of bread.
It's one piece of
It's
bread
like a loaf.
with a cut in the middle of it.
They split
They don't split. What?
pretty easily.
Yeah, but it's not split when it's made. All right, bro. And cereal is a soup, by the way. All right, guys. Come back next week to find out the answer. Is a hot dog a sandwich? All right, guys. Well, let us know what you think, and we'll review your answers next week on Terence's Corner. Thank you guys for watching.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird here with you. Dylan Richardson with you as well on the pregame broadcast. And we will continue to roll on, and Dylan will talk about some picks from around the state. But let's talk a little bit about this Windsor Wizard team and kind of what we can expect here tonight. A 3-1 team on the year. And you look, a team that likes to run the ball, 772 rushing yards. They have 10 touchdowns on the ground. And overall, they have been the cardiac kids. They have been in a close game every time out, a one-score game. They won 10-7 over Meade. They won 29-28 over Longmont, 26-24 over Fort Collins, and then they lost last week 35-30 to Fossil Ridge. So a team that has played a lot of close games already, been battle-tested.
Yeah, that's something that the Tigers haven't had a bunch of experience in. They had that somewhat close game against Vanguard, but other than that, the Tigers have definitely won games handily, and that may be something that comes into play later tonight if the Tigers don't get the job done in the first half. But Windsor definitely has more experience in close games than the Tigers.
Before we talk about some picks from around the state, let's take one more last look at last week's big win over Broomfield. Here on the near side, they'll send Sweeney in motion. Barnett's going to dance through the hole, gets it through the left side, dives into the end zone. Barnett in the shotgun. He's going to roll to the near side. Has a man wide open. It's Josh Levine. It's caught for a touchdown. To his right, looks downfield, fires the post route back the other way. It's Donovan O'Brien. Well, his arm's still okay as he hit O'Brien. They lead it by 8. Barnett stops, fires the curl route. It's caught by Donovan O'Brien. Past the sticks, past the... Takes it, rolls to his right, looks, gonna keep it himself, and punches it in. Jackson, the quarterback. Jackson takes it, scans, looks, has a man underneath, bobbled, caught, and the Tigers swarm, and they force a fumble, and they jump on it. The flag on the play as Meredith will step on the carry, and Barnett will get it, and he will plunge it into the end zone for his third left. See what Broomfield does. They'll go to the end zone, intercepted Alex Sweeney, and he's trying to take it the other way and put an exclamation point on the end of this one. It's one man to beat. Hageman blocking out front, Sweeney cuts in, and the Tigers will end this game with a big exclamation point and a pick six. And that pick six didn't count, but it was a big exclamation point. Well, it's time to take a look at some games around the state. It's time for D. Rich's picks.
Hey guys, welcome back to D-Rich Picks. This is week 5, first episode of the second season here. I'm Dylan Richardson. You might know me as D-Rich. That's why it's called D-Rich Picks. I've definitely been slacking off like the last 4 weeks. That's why I haven't got any picks in. But finally got some picks for you this week. I got 5 high school games and then a college game. First off, we'll start off in Fairview. No, I think they're in Douglas County. Fairview versus Douglas County. I got Fairview in this one. I think Douglas County isn't that good, but Fairview probably isn't that good either. They should be 4-0, but they choked against Valor. That's very unfortunate. 28-0 at half, and then losing. So potential choke there from Fairview to lose that game to Douglas County, but I got Fairview in that one. Then we go down to Parker, where Palmer Ridge is visiting Ponderosa. Ponderosa, I'm not going to lie, ever since Erie beat them, they're not that good. Palmer Ridge is a lot better, and they're going to go and continue their undefeated season. Then we are going to go all the way over to the western slope, where Lutheran is visiting Montrose. And for this one, honestly, if it was at Lutheran High School, I would pick Lutheran all the time. But because Lutheran has that like 6-hour bus ride to Montrose, Montrose is going to win that game, and that's why I think Erie is just so good. They went to Montrose and won. And speaking of Erie, Erie versus Windsor is also on the slate, and I mean Erie's just going to go and get the job done, keep moving on, and hopefully for the Tigers win out until the playoffs at least. And then finally for high school, I think the game of the week, Cherry Creek versus Regis Jesuit. Now, I mean, the smart pick would be to pick Cherry Creek, but I like to spice things up here, so Regis Jesuit's going to win that game. I want to spice it up, okay? So Regis Jesuit, please go win that game for me. Thank you. Okay, and then I actually got a prop for this next pick. We got the CU hat here. CU versus Oregon's this week. This is for Bird. I got the CU hat here. No, I'm just kidding. Shut up. CU's not winning that game. CU sucks. Oregon is winning. Yeah, CU, I don't know how they're ranked. They barely beat CSU. Are you kidding me? Whatever. So those are the picks for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy Erie versus Windsor, and hopefully I will catch you next week.
Okay. And welcome back in here live into Windsor Stadium. And well, that was D. Rich's picks. They're about to do the national anthem here. You heard some picks. We talked a little bit about what to expect from this Windsor team. The Tigers, though, they have yet to lose on Colorado soil here this year. And you know, Dylan, back-to-back weeks where they avenge some losses from a year ago. It's not just that they won, it's the way that they won. They absolutely bullied Montrose in a way that usually Montrose bullies other teams. And then they just didn't let Broomfield do anything.
Yeah, the Tigers, their offense definitely struggled early against Broomfield, but once they got into their mojo, there was nothing stopping that offense. And then the defense has stepped up in back-to-back games against Montrose and then against Broomfield as well. And I think that's the biggest improvement between this year's team and last year's team. Last year's team definitely had some struggles on defense throughout the year, struggled in that semifinal game against Broomfield. And then they make some changes in the offseason, come into this year with a new look on defense, and they have dominated this year on defense, honestly.
Well, we are on touchdown watch as Blake Barnett tries to track down the state record for 11-man football set by Christian McCaffrey for touchdowns in a career. It's 141. Hey, already Blake has, well, he poured in a couple last week as well. He, we believe, is within 22, so we'll kind of check that box throughout the season. Hopefully that barrier can be crossed in about the next 4 games or so. So depends on what we do here against maybe some of the teams that we should take care of and should rack up some touchdowns against.
Yeah, especially in that passing game, that real strong passing game that you don't see as much in high school. That's where Blake has really shined throughout his career. He definitely has that ability to run, but his arm strength is just something that you don't really ever see in a high school quarterback, and that's part of the reason why he has 120 touchdowns.
The other weird little note tonight that you pointed out before the game, there's another number 10 for the Windsor Wizards whose name is also
Gavin Lusk.
Gavin Lusk. What are the chances of that? I don't know. We're going to take a timeout for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have kickoff here on the Erie Tiger Network. Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
Go to where your friends are. Go to where the action's at. Go find your sense of adventure. Go Airheads, Airsoft Field and Store located in Erie, Colorado. Go Airheads and go Tigers.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Joe Johnson in Bloomington today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
You are watching the ETN.
Have you ever wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction in knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of...
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network, and we're having a little bit of an issue here with our Black Magic is what it's called, a camera switcher. It is kind of freezing on us, so we hope that is not a persisting problem throughout the rest of the night, but just a little reset and we're good to go. So we did want to take one more look at the Windsor Wizards here before we kick off, and you can see the nice graphics that our student team put together in Block 8 today. The Wizards, we already talked about 3-1 overall. They have not lost here at home. We talked about close games. How about this for season point total? They're 3-1. Their point differential is +1. 95 points for, 94 points against. And they're coming off that loss. So a hungry team tonight as the Tigers take on the Wizards. Well, the Tigers wearing white uniforms with orange helmets and white pants. The Wizards are wearing their maroon jerseys with Vegas gold pants and maroon helmets. At least back in the day, that's what Max Preps listed their colors at when I was back in Sterling. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's still Vegas gold. We won the toss and decided to defer,
I believe.
So the Wizards will be receiving the ball left to right. So Noah has his work cut out for him with as low as we are on the field today. You know what? We'll just have to have an excellent call. How about that, Dylan?
Yeah, I like that.
Our scoreboard a little bit limited. You'll have quarter and score, which is what you want. That's really all you want. We'll tell you the time down and distance. But we are all ready to get kicked off here in Windsor. Should be a fun one here tonight as the Tigers set to kick off. And Erie will send this one deep. An excellent kick into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, good start for the Tigers on special teams. Really don't want to give Windsor a chance to get that first play, big first play right off the kickoff, as the Tigers have given up a couple times this season. And now the defense that I talked about has been so strong this year comes out and hopes to get their first stop of the game.
So the Wizards take to offense first. Kyle Phelps, their starting quarterback, will work from the pistol. It's Brady Lichtenberg, the starting running back. High snap, handoff to Lichtenberg. Far side, has a hole, and Blake Barnett will come up and give him a pop. But a decent gain there on first down for Lichtenberg. And we are so close to the field, we might have a little bit of tough time with our stats here tonight and getting them absolutely perfect, but we'll try our best. So a 7-yard carry, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 3 here for the Wizards.
Yeah, a good start for that Windsor run game. That's something the Tigers defense has been pretty good against so far this year. But if Windsor can get that real strong ground game that they have going, they can hope to get a touchdown here early.
Wizards will really take their time here, and I think if you're going to ever upset the Tigers, I think you have to really milk and control the clock. Handoff in the middle. Keaton Strange stands up the running back, but good grinding yardage by Lichtenberg from the 27 all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, good job getting extra yards after contact by the Windsor running back there. And good start for the Wizards.
So Tigers starting out on defense here, and Windsor just going to take their sweet time here. 10:45 remaining in this first quarter as the sun's setting behind the H.J. Dudley Field press box. Pass on the play action. Rolling to the near side is Phelps. He'll hit the check down, and a good tackle in open space is Preston Terranova. That'll be a gain of only a yard.
Yeah, and Terranova was in deep zone on the near side, saw the pass to the flat and quickly got to it and forced the Wizards into a short gain.
I think that was Trip Thomas on the catch for the Wizards. 2nd and 9 coming up here for Windsor. By the way, always wondering what it's like out on the road. Windsor has probably been the best hosts we've had in the last couple years in terms of just making sure we're taken care of. We decided to set up, they have too tiny a press box, so we set up on the far side in the visitor stand, so not a great camera angle, but we have our own generator, our internet situation at least is working okay for now. So they were checking up on us a couple times, making sure we're fine. So just wanted to get that in there and say a special thank you to the Windsor community and the school here. So after the offside penalty, a 2nd and 3, there's a handoff, and pretty good job kind of breaking through initial contact so far is Lichtenberg, and he will press it forward for about a pickup of 4 and a first down.
Yeah, Tigers are just really losing the battle in the trenches right now. Windsor is forcing the defensive backs and linebackers of the Tigers to make tackles 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage.
So 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for the Wizards. Ball spotted between the hashes, 9:39 remaining here in this first quarter play. No score at the 46. Phelps in the shotgun with Lichtenberg. Takes the snap. He'll run read, gives it to Lichtenberg, has a hole, runs it up the middle, finally gets swallowed up and swung down to the turf after a pickup of 12. And a good opening drive here versus a run defense that has been very stout so far this year in the Tigers.
Yeah, as I said, the linemen for the Wizards are really just taking care of business in the trenches, and the Tigers linebackers aren't stepping up to force the Wizards into a short gain.
So 1st and 10 now on the Erie side of the field. Ball spotted at the 42. Hey, we can see that one. We're at the 44. Phelps in the shotgun. Lichtenberg, play action. He's looking deep. Tigers covered up well, so Phelps is going to be forced to pull it down, trying to get to the edge. Throws it on the run and on the money. And a nice little completion there, extending the play, and about a 13-yard pickup up to his running back, Lichtenberg. And Windsor just making things happen.
Yeah, a lot of good coverage downfield initially for the Tigers, but then as Phelps scrambled to the near side, coverage broke down, and good job by Phelps to find the receiver in the middle of the field and an easy first down.
Tell you what, the Tiger secondary was not fooled by that play action whatsoever. It was a good decision by Phelps not to throw. Phelps in the pistol now, Lichtenberg behind him. He's going to hand it to him. Lichtenberg stretches out the left side, puts his foot in the ground, goes up, and is swallowed up by Hageman, but he didn't get contact until about 5, maybe 6 yards down the field. And a good little pickup there on first down will make it 2nd and short.
And if you're the Wizards, this is an ideal first drive. You're just rolling down the field. You've burnt off a third of the clock here in the first quarter already, and you still have, you're not even in the red zone yet. They're just wasting time.
So 2nd and 3 here for the Wizards at the 21. 7:47 left to go here in the first quarter. Wizards engineering a good drive. It's Phelps to the pistol. He's going to hand it to Lichtenberg. The Tigers send a little run blitz off the edge, and making contact in the backfield that time was Ronan Ward, and a very short gain. In fact, no gain there for Lichtenberg on the carry, brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and that's the best work the Tigers have done against the run so far in this game. Good job on that run blitz by Ward.
So 3rd and 3. With the Wizards taking their sweet time here. Ball between the hashes. Pistol formation again for Phelps. 2 wide to the far side. Tigers almost jump. Phelps gets a snap, runs read, has Lichtenberg on the edge, makes a move, breaks it through 1 or 2 arm tackles, and has a solid gain from the 21 down to the, the 13.
Yeah, and Lichtenberg just evaded the grasp of Cole Powell on that, and another first down for the Wizards with 6:45.
Wizards knocking on the door here in the opening quarter, and we talked about the recipe to beat Erie is a long ball control offense, and that's what they've done so far here on this first drive of the game. Phelps on 1st and 10 from the 13 will come out in the shotgun. He's flanked by 2 running backs. Got a surprise snap, tried to hand it off. He just got it off, and good tough running in the backfield to avoid a loss and actually pick up one. And that was a Hubbard. That is only a 2nd carry of the season.
And a good job getting to the backfield early on what looked like a surprise snap by the Tigers. And another stop right by the yard to gain, or right by the line of scrimmage, excuse me.
So 2nd and 9 here after the 1-yard pickup. Ball down to the 12. Phelps in the shotgun. Again with 2 running backs. Again takes the quick snap. Hands it off to Lichtenberg. Tough running. He was lassoed around the ankles, but dove forward down to about the 6-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup there for Lichtenberg, and on this drive alone, he's got 52 yards on the ground. With 5:24 left, they've almost chewed through 7 minutes of game clock here in the first quarter. 3rd and a long 3 here. The ball spotted at the 7. They have to get, I think, just inside the 3. A little tough to tell from our angle. Phelps in the shotgun. Camera vibrating and all, and there's a penalty. Tigers stop it in the backfield. And shooting back there. Not sure who shot back there, but a nice tackle for Erie. And actually that was Gio Giampietro, and it will be an illegal formation, but you have to ask, Windsor's going to back up 5 yards, or they're going to back up about a yard and lose it down.
I would decline this if I were the Tigers, and looks like they do. So a good stand by the Tigers, and it looks like Windsor is going to settle for 3 points after a 7-minute drive.
Tell you what is not going to be Erie, and that's field goal. So interesting decision here, this deep down the field. Snap good, hold is good, kick is up. It is no good. So the Tiger defense lets 7 minutes run off the clock, and the clock is still going. Clock! Clock! Sorry, we were trying. I feel like I was the only one that saw it, so I wanted a coach to know. There were 8 seconds that ran off that clock.
Yeah, that is a very weird drive from the Windsors. They were dominating on the ground all the way, and then Tigers make 2 stops, and they decide to kick a field goal and then miss the field goal. That is a very odd first drive.
So 1st and 10 here for Erie with Blake Barnett in the shotgun. It's Gavin Lusk, and the first time the Tigers will take over with the nose of the football at the 20. Snap to Barnett. He'll run read, gives it to Gavin. He'll try and peel around the edge. Oh, and he gets stacked up after a gain of a couple and some late scufflage, but nothing too much in that. And a pickup there of 2, maybe 3 yards for Lusk.
And Tigers just want to continue what they were doing in the second half against Broomfield last week, which is just big plays.
Ball at the 23 here. 2nd and 7. Barnett with 3 wide in the formation. The H-back is Kogel. Barnett claps his hands and fires behind, or in front of, rather, Mason Kogel, and that's incomplete. And I thought that play was blown dead.
I thought so too.
There was a weird scream or something from one of the fans, and I thought the play was dead. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Even the way the players reacted, I thought it was dead from how they reacted. So maybe that threw them off just a little bit. Barnett back in the shotgun, 3rd and 7. Want to convert here after the long drive. Want to get that first down. Barnett, he's going to run the delayed handoff, and Windsor was all over that. The Tigers tried to catch Windsor off guard, and they will lose a yard with Lusk. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, this is very similar to what we saw against Broomfield last week. Tigers offense just not firing on all cylinders to start this game, and a 3 and out.
So Carson Hageman will go back to punt. On 4th and 8. Tigers a little bit late getting out there. Snap is good. Hageman will kick a low one, almost hit his own man. This is going to bounce, and Windsor, oh, that was dangerous, but they do fall on it at the 38. It's one of those, I don't know that you want your player picking it up. He wanted to real bad. The Tigers are right there, and so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wizards at their own 38-yard line.
Yeah, and Tigers defense just needs to get a couple stops early in series, or else it's going to be another long drive for the Wizards.
3:16 left to go here in quarter number 1. As we're checking in with our chat, trying to figure out where some of y'all are watching from. I see the Kogel family watching from Ohio. So there's a snap and a give. Tigers with decent penetration, but good job kind of navigating through traffic was Lichtenberg, and just picked his way for, well, got back to the line of scrimmage anyway.
Yeah, and Tigers, they were watching film over here on the near side after that defensive series was over, and it looks like they have made a change of some sort. They've definitely gotten more penetration into the backfield.
2:50 and counting here in this first quarter. Windsor has controlled the ball for most of this quarter. Phelps in the shotgun, and Tigers jump again. That's going to be Dom Sema. He didn't like last time when I said I was going to take points off his assignment. Now it's double points, Dom. Double points. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 here for the Wizards. With Phelps in the shotgun. Phelps wants to throw. It's the tunnel screen. Terranova did a good job shedding his block to at least slow the receiver down. And then the rest of the Tigers, including Keaton Strange, were there for a loss of 1 on the play. A good job there by the Tigers. That was Trip Thomas on the catch, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6.
And the Tigers' only struggle defensively so far tonight has been the run. when Windsor has opted to pass, it hasn't resulted for many yardage except for that one first down deep in Tiger territory.
Yeah, 3 passes, 13 yards for the Wizards. 1:48 left to go here in the quarter. Deep pistol formation here, and there are a bunch of Wizards deep. Now they're switching to the wide side of the field with Phelps taking his sweet time. He's going to throw the screen. That's dropped. That was awfully close to going backward, and that just looked dead to rights from the beginning.
Yeah, that was weird. Wizards had a numbers advantage on the far side, but I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
There is a flag on the play. They didn't blow it dead before the play, so I think this is going to be on Windsor. It is. It's an illegal formation. Declined by Erie, and that'll bring up 4th and 6 here. And if you're Windsor, you've had the ball a lot. You're going to punt?
Looks like it.
I think they are. Send this defense back on. And that was a must 3-and-out almost for this Tiger team. 1:31 left to go here in the quarter, and you just haven't had the ball in your hands but for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Tigers need to get an extended drive or a score here on this next drive.
Ronan Ward and Preston Terranova, the deep men here for the Tigers. Tigers look like they're going to play a little bit of safety, and that was almost blocked. And a punt that had a lot of backspin, went real high, and is going to give the Tigers excellent field position. So from the 42 to the 42 is where that punt goes. Punt of 16 total yards.
Yeah, definitely an odd punt. Maybe got it a little bit off the toe of the football and it just popped up in the air like a pop fly on a baseball field, and Tigers have good field position.
I think he just felt that pressure coming and rushed it. Tigers offense back out on the field. Barnett in the shotgun. This time I think it's Braylon Tolliver flanking him. Low snap, quick pass off the fingertips of Josh Levine.
Yeah, throw definitely a little bit high, but just between the fingers of Levine, and lucky for the Tigers that wasn't intercepted by the Windsor defender.
So 2nd and 10. Tigers 2 yards of offense so far. Got to get something going. Barnett in the shotgun. 1:15 left to go here in the quarter. He's going to come up and check the play at the line. Barnett takes the snap, looks, fires the slant. It's the same play. Levine plucked it out of the air. That was a good pass, but Levine bobbled it for a second and ends up picking up 6 yards.
Yeah, good adjustment by Levine there in midair, and he comes down, and Tigers have a 3rd and manageable now.
3rd and about 4 here. Tigers quickly to the line of scrimmage. It's Barnett and Tolliver. 2 wideouts to the top of the formation. Barnett takes the snap, runs read, gives it to Lusk. Lusk puts his nose forward and will not get the first down, but picks up about 2. And that'll bring up 4th and 1 here. And I think the Tigers will probably go for it.
Yeah, no real reason for the Tigers to not go for it. I think the spot's about a yard short of where at least I saw Lusk go. So Tigers have 4th and 2.
27 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Tigers signaling in the play here. Let's see if they get the snap off before the quarter goes. 4th, and it's a short 2. Barnett switches the side Lusk is on. He's going to take the snap, runs read. He's going to keep it himself. Spins through a tackle, bouncing off a defender. Still on his feet is Barnett. He's finally slung to the turf at the 35-yard line. A pickup there of 15 for Barnett.
That was a great read from Barnett, and then just uses his strength to break a bunch of tackles. And that is how the Tigers will end the first quarter.
And at the end of 1, no score. We'll take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon at sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month limit. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast with weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/etnpatreon.
You know that feeling you get when your life is about to change? It's terrifying, sure, but isn't it exciting? You may not know with certainty what lies ahead, but that's what makes life, well, life. And even when the scene in the rear view is hard to leave behind, Take a deep breath, hold on tight, and remember, there's no better way to move than forward.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network, as we just want to tell you real quick about the SVVSD Musical Instrument Drive. And actually, this quarter was so short, we'll have to get to that at another time. So Blake Barnett will lead the offense back out on the field. 1st and 10 from the 35. Barnett, he's going to throw the fade, has Cave Meredith, and it is caught by Cave. I actually think that hit the defender's hands first, and Cave took a pop, and he went down at the 3. And, oh, man, I hope he's okay, because that one was a tremendous hit.
Yeah, that was an instance where both the receiver and the defender were looking at the ball, and they just incidentally collided, and that is an unfortunate incident.
And you just hope Cave is okay. Tell you what, he took a hard hit a couple years ago out at Bear Creek, ended up, I think, breaking his collarbone and was out for a big chunk of that season. And here, taking a big hit, and that wasn't a dirty hit. That was, in fact, that was the safety. I thought he had the ball in his hands, and Cave just kind of ripped it away from him.
Yeah, that was just two players going after the ball, and I don't think either of them saw each other until the ball was there and just collided, and fortunately both players are okay.
Cave's actually walking off with a limp, so not sure what happened there. Okay, 1st and goal. Barnett all alone. Takes it, runs it left side, lowers the head, chops the feet, but not much going. A pickup of maybe 1 for Blake.
That was a play design we don't see very often. 5 wide for the Tigers, and then they pulled a guard, and where the guard pulled, defenders filed through right to Blake, and no gain there.
2nd and goal here for Erie. Lusk back out there for the Tigers. You have Sweeney, O'Brien, and Levine out there wide. Handoff, Lusk cuts, dives toward the goal line, and the officials, both officials, saying that the knee was just down about a couple inches shy. Both officials right on that, though. I think they saw the same thing. So 3rd and goal from the shadow of the goal line. Barnett is going to take it himself, and he's got a touchdown. And Blake Barnett is 21 touchdowns away from the 11-man football state record that Christian McCaffrey holds right now. So inching closer and closer to that total. Tigers will take the lead, pending the extra point.
That was just a easy play for Barnett. Only 1 or 2 feet to get into the end zone, and Tigers finally get on the scoreboard here in the 2nd quarter.
Tyler Hoffman, the left-footed kicker, will send this one through the uprights, and the Tigers lead it 7-0. Well, now I'll appease my wife and make sure that we talk about the St. Vrain Music Instrument Drive. So you can donate your musical instrument. They clean them, they repair them, so they don't have to be in perfect condition. And that's going to be on Tuesday, September 26th from 12 to 4:30. That's in Longmont at 619 Bowen Street. So they're going to also do it again on Friday the 29th from 9 to 3. So a couple chances for you to donate your instruments to students in St. Vrain. So here we go. It will be a kickoff for the Tigers. Wind maybe slightly at their back here. 10:47 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Little primitive scoreboard here, but it gets the job done.
Better than no scoreboard.
Better than no scoreboard. the kick. A low kick that will just roll out of bounds at the 1, which means that is a penalty. And that will bring the ball all the way up to the, what, the 30?
35, I think. And Windsor, they had that real long drive where they missed the field goal. They need to do what they did on that first drive, but actually get a touchdown out of it. And if they can do that, that could almost bring it down to the end of the quarter, possibly.
Wizards run the ball pretty well so far. The Tigers, 60 total yards of offense. The Wizards, 65 total yards. Both teams have had a 3 and out.
Wind is picking up now.
Wind at our back. You can hear it in our mics. There's the little scissor action in the backfield, and a stop after about 4 yards. I think that was Trip Thomas on the carry. So that'll bring up 2nd and 6 here for the Wizards. Phelps in the shotgun. He's got 2 back there again. Runs play action, the slant. Would have been a nice catch. It was good coverage there by Noah Garcia, the flying Hawaiian. And I thought it was going to be a really nice catch. Trying to stretch out and get his mitts around it was Gavin Helm, but just couldn't quite hold it in when he hit the ground.
Yeah, and that was good identification by Phelps on the near side. One-on-one coverage, no help deep. Had that slant route, just overthrew him a little bit. And now the Wizards have to pick up a long 3rd down.
By the way, we might see Dylan Firebaugh tonight, who was the starting corner all throughout last year as a sophomore, tore his ACL late. He has finally been cleared to play, and he is suiting up. Here comes a reverse. Tigers trying to seal the edge. Doing a pretty good job was Tolliver, and he will chase his man out of bounds. A decent gain, though. Pickup of about 8 on the reverse for the Wizard receiver. I believe that was A.J. Pereira.
Yeah, and that was a good play design there on 3rd down. Tolliver held the edge, but the Wizards had blockers out in front of the running back, and they moved the chains.
So 1st and 10 here for the Wizards. By the way, the wind really starting to pick up here. So we apologize if that, nothing we can do. So just letting you know, that's what you're probably hearing. Snap and a roll out and a throw behind the intended target from Phelps. That's his 2nd incompletion in a row. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and the intended target, Gavin Lusk, for the Wizards, he was standing there open for a little bit on that curl route, and Phelps probably just didn't see him until he got outside the pocket and then threw behind him. That's a tough throw on the run, though.
Might we see some number 10 Gavin Lusk on number 10 Gavin Lusk action tonight?
That'd be so much fun.
Trips to the far side of the field for the Wizards. Phelps peeks over there. Do they have the numbers advantage? I think that's the math they're trying to concoct. And they decide they do it. That might be a double pass. That was backward, and the Tigers were all over it, but a good job sneaking away. I mean, that would have been a 7-yard loss, and just able to sneak out of that and get it back to the line of scrimmage was Thomas.
And there's twice, that's the 2nd time the Wizards have ran that play where they've had numbers to that far side, and Phelps both times has thrown it a little bit over the head of the screened receiver, and that gives the Tigers plenty of time to get over there and get bodies.
Get this, Trip Thomas, 3 catches in this game, 0 yards. So 3rd down and 10 here for the Wizards. 8:45 left to go in the quarter. Phelps is going to get the snap, rolls to the near side, has to fire it to the near side, and that one was intended for his target, Noah Foth, but sails behind him out of bounds. That'll bring up 4th and 10, and the Wizards will send their punt team out there.
Yeah, and I really want to see, I don't know if they have it in their playbook, but the Wizards just hold the quarterback in the pocket, because Phelps, I feel like he's struggling on the run throwing the ball. He's not really throwing it accurately, a little bit behind his receivers. And I wonder if he had time to stand in the pocket, if he could throw a dart downfield.
Nice snap, good catch. By the way, Kaveh Meredith back out there for the Tigers. That punt is a shank.
Yeah, he got that right off the toe of the football. It stung him as well.
That's going to be called out at the 20. Man, that's some home cooking right there. That ball, I don't even think made it to the 25. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the official walked back to the 25 and now walking up. He's still walking up. And he walked all the way back to the 25. There you go. Okay, that's what I said. It was nowhere near where he was about to mark it. Now he walked it all the way up to the 35. Oh, man. Okay, so that's where the Tigers will take over. 1st and 10, 8:30 left to go here in the quarter. It's Barnett in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide, 2 to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Barnett takes the high snap, pumps, looks, has a man in his face, going to sprint around him, looking downfield. He's going to take it himself, and takes a big hit out near the sideline, but does pick up about 6 yards. And, he took a big hit, but he also delivered a big hit.
Yeah, that was maybe more damage to the defender than to Blake. And that was very good downfield coverage by the Wizards on that. They have a bunch of defensive backs out there just to combat this Tigers pass offense.
Yeah, that was a good decision by Blake not to force that. 2nd and 4 here for the Tigers. Barnett takes a snap, runs read, gives it to Tolliver on the outside. He's got a little seam. Tolliver going to follow some blockers. He's into the open field across the 40, the 30. Tolliver down the sideline, and Braylon Tolliver, he will score, but there's a flag in the backfield. Hold on, everybody. For a moment, it was a 60-yard run, and the only person in the stadium that knew was Blake Barnett.
Yeah, that's tough for the Tigers. Good downfield blocking. Saw Kate Colblins out there in front of Tolliver, and then Tolliver uses that track speed to get down the sideline first, but unfortunately, it's coming all back.
That's a tough one. So the spot, was a few yards past the line of scrimmage, so it is effectively about a 7-yard penalty, and that'll make it 2nd and 11.
That's a tough break for the Tigers. And
that was a really well-blocked run.
Yeah.
And Blake wondering what the play is, trying to get it in quickly here. Still plenty of time left on the play clock. You have 2 wide to the near side. Gavin Lusk checks back in. Barnett dropped the snap, now picks it up, fires a little screen pass. It's Mason Kogel. Now he'll run on the far side. He bowls over a defender out back to the line of scrimmage before the Tolliver run, so about a 7-yard pickup from Barnett to Kogel.
And that's not Kogel, that's 85.
Oh,
is that
Gabe
Sema?
Sema.
Yeah. It's Gabe Sema. The freshman getting head taps over on the near sideline. Maybe his first catch as a Tiger?
I'm not sure, I believe so. Handoff there to Gavin Lusk, makes one man miss, and then the cavalry arrives. And that's going to force a 4th and about a 4 here for the Tigers. Lusk, 5 carries for 5 yards. Tigers' 60-yard run wiped off the board.
Yeah, the run game definitely hasn't been as awake as it has been in the past. Especially, I feel like against Broomfield, Tigers' run game was really strong.
Pregame back to punt here. The Tigers. Pregame, he read it, and he's going to run it, and he has the first down. I think that was basically like, hey, you're going to read this. If it's there, take it. If not, rugby punt it. And Hageman, he's a fast kid. He saw the distance to gain, saw the marker, got enough. In fact, he got 9 yards.
Yeah, and Tigers, I think they were thinking fake the whole way because they had Kogel motioning to the near side, and I saw that, thought something was up.
Yeah.
And that was a real smart read from Hageman, just enough room to pick up the first down, and the Tigers get another chance.
So 1st and 10, 6:46 remaining here in the half. Barnett in the shotgun. Takes a snap. He's going to run read. He's going to give it to Lusk on the outside. Puts his foot in the ground. Has big yardage. Trying to get through one more tackle across the 40 and finally gets stacked up as he's dragging defenders across to the 35.
Yeah, and that was a real good read from Blake. As he gave it away, he really sold that fake. And I feel like some of those Windsor defenders bit, and that allowed Lusk to get that extra yardage.
So 1st and 10 here from the 36 is where they mark it. So a 15-yard gain there for Lusk with Barnett in the shotgun. He's got Tolliver flanking him. Barnett will keep it. No, he'll hand it to Braylon. Another good little fake, carrying out your fake there by Blake Barnett.
Yeah, I definitely thought he had it there, but good defense by the Wizards.
And so Braylon only picks up a yard on the play that time. It's got to be a bummer. You have a big play, 60 yards, doesn't go in the stat book.
Yeah.
1st and 10, 4 wide in the formation. Meredith and Sweeney out there, Levine and O'Brien. There's the slant. It's a nice snag there by Josh Levine down to the 21. 14-yard pitch and catch from Barnett to Levine.
Yeah, and that's how the Tigers get you. They run those little drop plays to their running backs, and then a slant over the middle picks up 10 or 12 yards, and that's how the Tigers get their points.
So 1st and 10 for Erie. Tolliver out there, Meredith, Sweeney, and O'Brien, the receivers. Now Tolliver will switch sides. Barnett will run read. He will keep it this time and runs into 3 or 4 maroon jerseys, and he will not be brought to the turf, but his forward progress will be stopped. And he'll get that from the 21 down to the 17.
Yeah, and the Wizards, they have only one deep safety, so I wonder if the Tigers are going to go for some sort of corner fade route here.
Donovan O'Brien certainly has a large catch radius. And he's singled up on a smaller DB. I like that call there, Dylan. And Barnett wanted the... He throws the little wheel route instead to Alex Sweeney for a dart and a touchdown. 17 yards from Barnett to Alex Sweeney. And Blake Barnett is now 20 touchdowns away.
Yeah, and not quite a fade route, but taking advantage of the one deep safety by the Tigers and a pretty easy pitch and catch for Blake. And Tigers extend the lead.
Like that little switch release there at the line of scrimmage between O'Brien and Sweeney. And that was a dart. So 4:39 remaining here in the half. Tigers up a pair of scores here. And I tell you what, if they could get another stop and score, that might really break the Wizards' spirit, and that is no good. That kick is pushed wide left. So we'll stay right here. Tiger fans, don't forget to follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Do it all. A couple scores from around the area. Brighton and Broomfield are tied at 14 apiece in the second. Monarch on top of Pooter. We will see Monarch in a few weeks here. Thomas Jefferson big over Stanley Lake, 37-7. Grand Junction Central up on Glenwood Springs, 28-8. Fruita Monument, a 4A school up on Bear Creek. Might see one of those in the playoffs down the road. Centaurus beating Palmer 32-14. Cheyenne Mountain leading Denver South. That's a little bit of a surprise after Denver South has had some interesting wins. It's been a weird year in 4A. By the way, Longmont beating Skyline 15-0. That one at Everly Montgomery. And Golden in a tight one against Palisade 10-6. So some scores from around 4A.
And update on that Cherry Creek Regis Jesuit game. It's 21-7. I would like to formally apologize to Regis Jesuit.
You mean Cherry Creek?
And Cherry Creek, both of them.
Yeah,
Regis Jesuit for the jinx, Cherry Creek for
there you go.
underestimating them.
Oh, that's interesting. They say the catch was made at the 1. His momentum carried him back, and therefore he could return. Now the officials going to chat about this. I thought that was a touchback.
I thought so too.
I thought if you have any momentum back into the end zone, that's a touchback.
Yeah,
okay, and
touchback.
the official called a touchback. That's a kind of a bad mistake.
Yeah,
you don't want to get someone hurt, and the running back felt like he had to run it out of the end zone.
Well, so Tigers, after that long first drive for the Wizards, have definitely stepped up defensively, and they need to continue that.
So 1st and 10 for the Wizards. Might we see the Wizards start to abandon the run game a little? There's the scissoring action again, and a nice tackle by Carson Hageman.
Carson Hageman hits big when he hits.
Carson Hageman, only a junior in high school, but he's a man.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm. And he makes big tackles. And last week, that fumble that he caused basically by himself with the hit. And he punts the ball too. He does a little bit of everything.
Punts even. Got a first down here. Kept that scoring drive alive.
Yeah.
2nd and 7 here for Erie. Tigers crowd the line of scrimmage. They'll run read option as Phelps. He's going to hand it off on the far side, and a good job dragging defenders. Blake Barnett came up and gave a big shot. Hit his teammate Jackson Kogel, who had his arms wrapped around the defender, and that's a pickup there of 6.
Yeah, and Wizards definitely awakening that run game that they had going so well in the first quarter, and they really need that if they want to get back in this game.
Oh, wait, is Lichtenberg hurt? What?
I think they're just trying to confuse, because he's out there.
Okay, yeah, he is out there.
They're just not giving it to him. It's weird.
3rd and 1. Handoff to Lichtenberg right on cue. Oh, man, he took a big hit from Blake Barnett, but easily has the first down, a pickup of about 4, maybe 5 there for Lichtenberg.
And I definitely feel like he was the big yardage gainer for the Wizards on that first drive, and it seems like they've backed away from him oddly coming down into the second quarter, and that's probably part of why the Tigers have gotten so many stops.
2:40 remaining here in the half. Tigers on top. Snap, give, and there's Lichtenberg again, and he was twisted down before he got hit from behind by Barnett right down at the 40. So a pickup there of 6.
Yeah, and Lichtenberg is one of the few runners we've seen so far this year that's been able to get a few more yards after contact. We didn't really see that against Montrose.
2nd and 4 here. Yeah, he has been a tough customer to bring down. He has 62 yards rushing on 12 carries. So just curious that they have not given him the ball a little bit more. 5.1 yards per carry. Now play action. And Hageman, and there's the little Brett Favre shovel. That will come up short. That was a good job by Hageman just to get right in the face of Phelps and force an error.
Yeah, and
backs here for the Wizards. Phelps takes the snap. He's going to run on the counter, and the Tigers shoot into the backfield. Carson Hageman leads the charge with Keaton Strange and Dom Sema. And a nice trio of Tigers in the backfield for a TFL.
Yeah, it's a big stop for the Tigers and first timeout of the game.
So they'll call a timeout with 1:39 remaining. It'll be 4th and 7. And you got to imagine Windsor will probably punt because they go for it, and that's pretty much, I mean, what?
There's a little bit too much time to give it back to the Tigers offense. If there was like 45 seconds, I would consider going for it. But with a minute 40 and field position where if you don't make it, Tigers only have 40 or so yards to the end zone. But maybe see a fake punt here. Tigers need to be aware.
Blake Barnett will go back to return the punt.
We saw this against Montrose where the Tigers, I feel like this is their expect a fake formation.
Yeah, we've seen Blake turn on the jets on some of these returns. But Windsor has not punted the ball basically in play. I mean, they've had 2 punts that have gone a total of about 30 yards. So high snap. Tigers send the house, and Hageman almost blocked that one. I mean, that was an eyelash away. Barnett's going to pick it up off the bounce on the far side, and he'll return it up the sideline, and he is engulfed there on the sideline. And a little bit risky there from Blake, but
that was a very good punt for the Wizards. Finally got it square, not off the toe of the football, and that was a gutsy play by Barnett to pick that up off the turf.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they will start the drive from the 20, what is that, the 9? Tolliver out there for Erie. Barnett takes a snap. He's going to roll it. That's actually Lusk out there. He's going to fire up the deep ball and just overshoots Donovan O'Brien. And actually, for just a split second, looked like Donovan kind of slowed down and then had to speed back up.
Yeah, maybe lost it in the sky a little bit. I feel like the lights are a little lower than usual at this stadium. And that was a play that maybe was expected for the Tigers, the deep shot on 1st down. But just a little bit overthrown.
So 2nd and 10, 1:22 remaining here in the quarter. Trips to the near side. Ball spotted far hash. Barnett, he's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to step backward. Did he drop the football? Now he'll throw it deep. Has a man, it's intercepted. Couldn't quite get enough mustard on it. And it was intercepted at the 31. That was a long throw.
Yeah, I felt like he was backpedaling and he still threw that 60 yards.
Yeah, he was at the 15 and threw that to the other 30, 55 yards going backward. Goodness. Nevertheless, couldn't quite get enough on it. He had a man deep, but that was real deep.
That was a long ways. I was surprised Barnett didn't go down in the backfield there. It was a odd play indeed.
So 1:11 remaining here in the quarter. Let's see how aggressive Windsor is as they start from the 31. Single high safety for the Tigers. Phelps in the shotgun. He's going to look to the near side. Double slant, doesn't like it. Now he'll come off to the far side, and he will trot it out of bounds.
Yeah, and first or second time we've seen Phelps in the pocket without any scrambling action, and then good job by him to recognize the pressure and scramble to the far side and pick up 5.
1:05 remaining here in the quarter. And kind of a weirdly paced game.
Yeah.
Phelps ran out of bounds, so that does stop the clock. And now Wizards will come out in 4 wide. Phelps play action. He's got pressure in his face. He's drifting backward. He throws it. That's got to be intentional grounding. That didn't even come close to the line of scrimmage. Windsor wanted roughing the passer. How is neither of us penalty?
That was very odd. Good pressure by the Tigers right away as Windsor is just trying to get that pass game alive, but somehow no penalty on that play.
Maybe a receiver in the area I didn't see. So 3rd down, it's 59 seconds left. So Tigers could still engineer something. I think Coach Geiger saying, I want a timeout if the clock is running. We get a stop short of the stick. If I'm Windsor, I might consider a run play here. Nope, they'll still press it. Hageman was on the blitz. Phelps eludes pressure, throws it to the boundary. That's going to be enough for the 1st down by a couple of yards. They needed 6. They got about 8.
Yeah, good, strong throw from Phelps there. And with 54 seconds left, the Wizards have a chance here to get the deficit down to 6 going into the locker room.
Tigers, they can make some plays defensively through the air. Let's see what they do here. Phelps looking, fires. It's going to be intercepted. Preston Terranova on the pick. He tries to reverse course. Preston Terranova up the sideline trying to pick up blockers across the 40, and he'll run it out of bounds. Preston Terranova read that all the way. He actually slipped off of his receiver and dropped back to catch it. And an easy interception as Preston Terranova just about went supernova.
Not exactly sure what Phelps was looking at there. He threw it on the run, which he struggled with a few times tonight, and just there was nobody close to Terranova on that play. That was very odd.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Windsor 39. Barnett and Lusk out there, 4 wide in the formation, and now a timeout going to be called here by, I believe, the Wizards. And the coach for Windsor is running onto the field. He's on the Erie half of the field to talk to the officials.
Yeah, in either after that pass was thrown or during the interception, there was a scuffle between Carson Hageman and Phelps behind the play, and obviously the Windsor coach is upset with the lack of calls going against Erie. But I didn't see what happened. I just saw afterwards Hageman and Phelps were together, and there were a few Windsor players going over to defend their quarterback.
Chris Jones, the head coach, has been the coach here for eons, it seems. And I actually have an interesting, or really a corny interaction with him. You might remember Joey O'Connor played for the Windsor Wizards. He was recruited, committed to Penn State. The Sandusky stuff happened, and he was the first decommit. Ended up going to Ohio State, then transferred to CSU, really had injury problems. And I'll finish this story some other time. Handoff to Lusk, far side. Lusk has a convoy of blockers, now puts his foot in the ground, leans it forward, and the Tigers are going to have to call a timeout as Lusk did not get the first down, and a pickup there of 8. Tigers maybe just trying to get to the ball quickly. Got to manage the clock here, Erie.
Tigers have 3 timeouts.
Levine will get set. Barnett is going to roll to the near side. Looks downfield, fires on the run, has Kogel, snatches it out of the air, stays in bounds, and finally hit down after a decent pickup there from the 33 down to the 23, a 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, and time for the Tigers to run possibly 2 plays here to go for the end zone.
The fans are mooing here for Mason Kogel.
They call him the Moose.
Yes,
yeah.
It took me a little while to figure out what the heck they were doing. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Barnett looking, fires, wide open, beautifully designed. It's Alex Sweeney, same play but to the other side. And the Tigers score it with 7 seconds left on a 23-yard strike.
Yeah, and that's just heartbreaking for the Wizards. They had potentially time to score and get themselves within a possession going into half, but instead Tigers have a chance to go up 3 touchdowns.
Blake Barnett, 19 touchdowns away. And the Tigers will run the 2-point conversion. Ronan Ward will peel off. He'll throw it into the back of the end zone. Intercepted. What a beautiful pick. He floated that one, but that was a one-handed pick in the back of the end zone. And the Tigers are unable to convert. But with 7 seconds left, the Tigers lead it 19-0 here in the first half of play. And just a nice little dial-up offensive play there. You had the switch release again, and Alex Sweeney, nobody guarding him.
And that's a play the Tigers might want to keep in the back pocket come playoff time. That is just a play where you maybe have the safety looking over the middle, and then Sweeney is just lost in coverage over there on the sideline. And 2 touchdowns have resulted from that play for the Tigers.
Well, smoke is in the air, and not sure where that's coming from. But it is kind of thick on this field.
It started rolling in about 30 minutes before game time, and no idea where the smoke has come from. A wildfire, maybe?
We have had a smoke delay in Erie football history. It was the COVID year. It was literally raining ash up in Longmont, and they had to stop the game for about an hour because the air quality was so bad.
I think I remember that day. It was the fire right outside of Boulder, right?
Yeah, and it just not nearly that bad right now, but thick enough that you can see it in the air and you can certainly smell it.
Yeah.
So something maybe to keep an eye on.
I remember that day. That day was, what, my freshman year?
That was, yes.
Freshman year. I think I remember that was the day of cross-country state, and we were driving back on I-25 because state's in Colorado Springs. And we were driving back. We got to around like 136, and you could just see the smoke on the horizon. That was a crazy sight. I remember that.
It looked like Mordor out there. Well, at the end of one half of play, the Tigers lead the Wizards 19-0. We're going to take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't born a leader.
It wasn't given to me.
I couldn't buy it.
How'd I get here?
I decided.
I decided.
I decided.
I decided.
Decide to lead as an Army officer.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets. Cuckoo Crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Jeannie Hulse in Erie today.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
Do you have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you? Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
Go to where your friends are. Go to where the action's at. Go find your sense of adventure. Go Airheads. Airsoft.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. It is halftime here on the ATN. Be sure to like this video, help us get our analytics up there, subscribe to the Erie Tiger Network, set that notification icon, all of that good stuff. Let's take a look at some halftime numbers here. Blake Barnett, 11 passes thrown. He is 7 for 11 with an interception and a pair of touchdowns for 109 yards. On the ground, Blake Barnett, 5 carries for 27 yards. Gavin Lusk, he's got 7 carries for 28 yards. Braylon Tolliver, 1 carry for 1 yard. Sad face.
Yeah.
And Carson Hageman, 1 carry for 9 yards. Of course, Braylon Tolliver had that 60-yard run wiped off due to a penalty. Alex Sweeney, 2 catches for 40 yards. Mason Kogel, a catch for 10. Kave Meredith, a catch for 32 yards. And 2 catches for Josh Levine for 6 and 14. And Gabe Sema with a catch for 7 yards. So the Tigers, as a team, 174 total yards. Barnett, a pair of 17-yard touchdown passes, both to Alex Sweeney. And the Wizards, Kyle Phelps, 11 passes, just like Barnett. Very unofficial, by the way. Only he is 5 of 11 with a pick and 21 yards passing. 86 yards on the ground for Windsor, 62 by Brady Lichtenberg himself. Kyle Phelps with 4 yards, Trip Thomas with 13, Hubbard with 1, Pereira with 6. 3 catches, Trip Thomas, 0 yards receiving. Brady Lichtenberg also leading the team in receiving for 13 yards. Might want to get that guy the football if you are Windsor. The Wizards with the turnover, they trail it here at halftime, 19-0. So that's a look at some halftime numbers. We were lucky enough to catch up with Dom Sema on what football means to him.
Football has changed my life because it's made me a happier person. I've never enjoyed myself and like the people I'm around as much as I have now. And so, yeah, football's made me happier. It's introduced me to better people, like people I probably wouldn't have hung out with before, but now I do. I see them all the time and I hang out with them. So, yeah, it's just made me I think it's made me a better person as well.
Thank you, Dom Sema. Sorry, Dom, 3 years of calling you Sema, and I finally get corrected this year. You're gonna have to give me some leeway here. I'll get it right here before the end of the year. We talked a little bit about this Tiger schedule and what we've seen over the past few weeks. And let's put that one on 3 right there, or 2, it doesn't matter. And some upcoming games, obviously, here tonight. Next Friday, the Tigers will be at home against Loveland for homecoming, the number 9 team. That's a tough homecoming game for the Tigers. Loveland really pounded Erie last year. Erie has been on a revenge tour this year, and they have done well in those revenge games. They'll then be out to Monarch in our first game in October. That's a Thursday night, back-to-back Thursday night games. It's against Silver Creek on the 12th in a 4-day weekend for the students and the staff. The Tigers will then take on Longmont at home in their last regular season home game of the year, and then they'll finish the season up on a Saturday at Greeley West. And, well, they will then host a playoff game. I think that probably a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
So, a lot of football left to be played this season. Blake Barnett, 19 touchdowns away from holding the 11-man football state record. He'd have to have another 20 to get the all-time record, but that's not really fair when you compare 8-man and 6-man stats to 11-man football stats. So for all intents and purposes, it would be the state career record, passing the great Christian McCaffrey. And boy, what a record that would be if Blake is able to continue his torrid pace. So we certainly hope that happens. By the way, we have a couple more little goodies that the students cooked up. I know Coach Geiger here, what a great guy, just on top of being a good football coach, an overall record of 25-6. Always enjoy every time I'm around Coach Geiger. He's always sure to give me a little needle or two here or there, and then I just remind him that he is a Nebraska fan. And his Huskers have not beaten my Buffaloes for, I don't know, something like 3,000 days or more. So I will remind him that every chance that I get. And, well, you had Donovan O'Brien. We have not heard from him tonight, but some students were talking about him today. Some of the basketball players I was hanging with, they're like, man, Donovan has been so good this year. 14 catches, 88 yards per game. 219 yards total. He's really been, I think, a big playmaker. You saw Windsor. I think they keyed on him on a couple plays. That opened up Alex Sweeney. So certainly other teams starting to take notice there as well. On the defensive side, a player that we kind of want to highlight as well. How about the big Washington State Cougar commit? 23 career sacks, 91 total tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and he has had a heck of a year. He's been on some tackles for loss this game, and just a fun kid. I always enjoy my time around Jackson. I'll tell you what, he will put his foot in his mouth. He will do that, and that's, I think, part of what makes it fun. So, but a big shout-out to the Big 5 for Jackson Kogel. Well, halftime rolls on here as the band continues to perform here in Windsor. Some scores from around the state just to update you here on our little halftime show. Cherry Creek, a one-possession game. That one's in the first half still, 28-20 over Regis Jesuit. The number 2 team in 5A and my alma mater, the Pine Creek Eagles, they lead the Mullen Mustangs 14-0 with 4:30 left in the second. Arapahoe leading Rock Canyon 17-0. And let's see, another top 10 score in 5A. Grandview trailing Pomona 7-14. As we look in the 4A scores, Pueblo West, the number 4 team, they beat Far Northeast 14-0. Dakota Ridge tied with Chatfield 14 apiece. Broomfield, they dropped to number 6. They're leading Brighton 14-21, or 21-14 rather. Monarch and Pooter tied 7-7. Thomas Jefferson and Stanley Lake. Thomas Jefferson leads that one by 30, or won that one by 30, final 37-30. Grand Junction Central up 28-8 over Glenwood Springs in the second. Bear Creek trailing Fruita Monument at home 36-21. Denver South just leading Cheyenne Mountain. Centaurus all over Palmer. Longmont all over Skyline 22-zip. That one is at the half. Silver Creek up big on Greeley West 28-0. And Heritage leading Rampart 21-7. Anything stick out there, Dylan?
My only hypothetical question is, who wants to be the number 3 seed in 4A Colorado right now? I don't think it's anybody, because Pueblo West, I thought they were a pretty solid team, but beating Far Northeast by 14, that's surprising. And then just, I think we've talked about this a couple times. It really seems like only 2 teams in 4A are really putting together a strong season so far.
Yeah, and shoot, someone told me this week, hey, watch out for Dakota Ridge. They're pretty good, but they lost, or they're tied rather, to Chatfield. So it's like no one really wants to seize the moment here in 4A outside of the Erie Tigers and Palmer Ridge, and we've seen that matchup before. This has been a revenge tour of a year, so maybe one more at the end of the year.
That'd be funny, but I definitely feel like Palmer Ridge they might end up being the #1 seed at the end of the season just because the Tigers have that one loss. But, I mean, it's hard to tell because Palmer Ridge hasn't had a super strong schedule so far, but Tigers, the way they've been playing and against the teams they've been playing against, really feel like this may be the year.
Certainly hope so. See if we can keep some guys healthy and keep rolling on. And we'll roll into the second half after we take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Field and Store located in Erie, Colorado. Go Airheads and go Tigers.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets.
Cuckoo Crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Joe Johnson in Bloomington today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
You are watching the ETN.
Have you ever wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction of knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of any broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon at sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month commitment. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast with the weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/ETN Patreon.
You know that feeling you get when your life is about to change? It's terrifying, sure, but isn't it exciting? You may not know with certainty what lies ahead, but that's what makes life, well, life. And even when the scene in the rear view is hard to leave behind, take a deep breath, hold on tight, and remember, there's no better way to move than forward.
And welcome back into windy Windsor as the Tigers lead it as we roll into the second half. 19-0, and they will at least be the receiving team here to start the half. By the way, a huge shout out to my golfers. I don't give them too many plugs, the boys. They went down to Pueblo and they won a region for the first time. I don't know, Doug Cooter now will have to let me know. I believe it was 2002, the last time and only time the boys golf team won a region, and the Tigers will go to state. 3 sophomores, a senior. You have Sean Carey, Owen Dubois, Cole Rose, and the senior Hayden Jackson. The 4 Erie golfers that will represent the team at state in Montrose on October 2nd and 3rd.
This is the first time we've seen the kickoff from Windsor.
Yes. And that's a big kicker.
It's their punter too, I think. He just looks big because all the players are kneeled down, I think.
3 men deep for Erie. This is a bullet of a punt that was bobbled but pulled in by Preston Terranova. Has a big seam up the middle. Preston gets twisted to the turf. A nice return there all the way up to the 48-yard line.
And Terranova just darting through defenders, and that's a good start for the Tigers here in the second half. And Terranova a little hobbled right to the trainer's bench after that.
He's tying the shoe. We'll keep our eye on him. So Barnett will lead the offense out 1st and 10 from the 48.
I think it's that ankle. He's been wearing a brace on that ankle all week during school, and that's what he's messing around with on the table.
Barnett fumbles the ball. He tried to give it on basically a jet sweep to Ronan Ward, and Ronan Ward fell on it. And that'll be a 5-yard loss, 4-yard loss. By the way, the wind, a problem. I'm trying to angle. There we go, that's better. If I angle this way, I think my face blocks the wind a little better. Barnett in the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking, being patient, now fires out the backfield to Gavin Lusk. He bobbles, he slips through a couple of Wizards and then ends up picking about 10 yards all the way up to the 45.
Yeah, and Tigers they need a pick up here on 3rd down to keep that offense rolling.
Try and cover my mic as best I can. Barnett in the shotgun. I think is that Tolliver flanking him? No, that is Lusk. Barnett will keep. And the Wizards have done a pretty good job on the keeper by Barnett. No gain there. In fact, Blake has only been held to 27 yards rushing.
And almost all of that was on that one big play, as I can recall. And Tigers they have Blake as the puncher, so this is the maybe pooch punt, maybe go for it.
They're going for it. It's 4th and 4 on the 45. You got
no reason not to.
The 2nd leading touchdown scorer in state history. I think they're going for it, and they will. 5 wide. Tigers spread them out. Meredith will motion. They fake the snap. Now it will be the pooch punt. All right, you got one, Dylan. You got one. And that one went into the wind and blew backward and only down to the 25. So a net punt there of about 20 yards.
15 yards, yeah. That was, we saw that from Barnett, I feel like more often last year, where he lined up 7 or 8 yards deep in the pocket and then just pooch punted it. That was one of his worst ones of his punting career, I would say. But hasn't had to do it very often.
One of our cables kind of coming a little loose here, I think. We might try and change it out at the commercial. 1st and 10, though, for the Wizards. Snap, Phelps gives. Big run there by the man here for the Wizards. It's Lichtenberg.
Yeah, if I were the Wizards, I would just get the snap, give it to him, and hope he picks up another 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah. You just direct snap it to him and let him run wild if you're the Wizard. 1st and 10 for Windsor. 9:29 left to go as the wind at least helping maybe mitigate some of the smoke. Phelps in the pistol. Almost early movement there. Handoff to Lichtenberg, and Lichtenberg takes a lick after a gain of 1.
Yeah, and Terranova finally hops off the trainer's bench. He was getting that left ankle taped up, and Alex Sweeney in there for the time being. Or, no, excuse me, Josh Levine in there for the Tigers right now.
So 2nd and 9 for Windsor. Phelps in the pistol. Tigers crowding the line of scrimmage. Only 1 wide here for the Wizards. It's going to be a handoff. Oh, through the arm tackle of Cole Powell went Lichtenberg, and he's able to slither his way for about 3 yards, 2 yards maybe.
That wind is really picking up out of the east. Definitely a little, I feel like, odd for Colorado.
Yeah.
And
it's at our back, yeah, for sure.
It's a little cold as
Real,
well.
yeah.
Maybe should have gotten a jacket at halftime. Didn't think it through.
3rd and 7 here for the Wizards after the 2-yard pickup by Lichtenberg. Trying to take a licking and keep ticking. Okay, that's the last dad pun of the night. Well, that's no guarantee. Play action. They're going to attack the seam, and no one was covering the tight end. Slipping off of him was Tolliver. The safety had gone over the top. no one even saw him, and it was overthrown by Phelps.
And Phelps' struggles have continued as Terranova gets back on the field to return the punt, and that could have been a big play if Phelps had thrown that on target.
That should have been 6.
Yeah.
Now the Wizards will punt on 4th and 7 here. 7:56 remaining. A stiff breeze coming from the camera away, and wow, that punt way up in there. And Preston dropped it, and Windsor got it.
Just through the arms of Ronan Ward.
Actually, that was, Ronan Ward, I'm sorry. And that was a tough punt. That was so high up in that wind.
That almost got up above the lights. That was a booming punt, and that is a big play for the Wizards.
Huge break for Windsor, and now they'll have it 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
And that makes up for the mistake from Phelps. And hopefully for him, he can make up for it and give his team points for the first time tonight.
See if this Tiger defense can bow their necks. Phelps in the pistol, takes the snap, hands it to Lichtenberg, kind of plowing his way forward, picks up 2 down to the 5. Tigers have done a better job of bottling him up as the game has gone on. Now averaging under 5 yards a carry is Lichtenberg. Last 3 has gone for 1, 2, and 2. Man, this wind is brisk.
Finally coming fall time.
Yeah, fall starts tomorrow, but it's here right now. Handoff, Lichtenberg, sandwich, trying to back his way forward, picks up a yard.
Kogel's just right there and puts him on the ground, and 3rd down now for the Wizards. They need 6.
So 3rd and goal from the 4. Wizards trying to dial up something. 6:51 remaining here in quarter number 3. Can the Tigers do here? Phelps in the shotgun. He's got 2 running backs flanking him. He's going to give it to Lichtenberg, left side, trying to pop through a hole, and instead gets stacked up short of the goal line at the 1.
And Windsor, if you're Windsor, you have to go for this, right? Down 19, 6:10 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and you have 1 yard to get here. I feel like you have to go for this.
4th and goal to go from the 1. 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd. Big moment in this game, and Windsor's going to burn a timeout to talk about this a little bit more. So, if you're Windsor, I mean, shoot, you give it to Lichtenberg.
Yeah, this is. If it doesn't go to 34, I feel like it's almost a mistake from the Windsors here. From the Windsors. From the Wizards.
The emphasis on wind.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have known coming in.
Yeah, we should.
This is the first time that ETN has broadcasted a football game from Windsor High School. We have broadcasted soccer, softball, volleyball, boys and girls basketball, and it seems like we might have to go back and check. I think every broadcast we've done here has ended in a loss, and some in heartbreaking fashion, and the Tigers trying to put an end to that here tonight. So here we go, 4th and goal from the 1. Phelps in the pistol. Lichtenberg not in. Phelps hands off left side, and that one might have been stopped. The Tigers are certainly signaling like it's short, and it's a touchdown. That one we're going to watch on the film because I don't know that the official or either team knew what to call there, and it is a 1-yard touchdown run.
I am incredibly surprised that Lichtenberg wasn't in there. That was a odd play call considering 4th and 1, and Lichtenberg is your strongest runner, but it works out for the Wizards, and they get their first points of the game here.
I think Sam Cooper might have been the running back there. And that was his first carry of the night. Hey, there you go, 1 for 1 for a touchdown. Windsor's gonna go for 2 here with Phelps and Lichtenberg back there. Handoff, Lichtenberg runs across the formation, lowers the head, and thumps his way into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So an 11-point lead for Erie. That makes it a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal lead. And Erie will get the ball back here. And Erie stopped, and then a fumble on the punt. And so the short field, 7 yards to go. They had to earn, every yard in that little goal line squabble there.
Yeah, Windsor offense has definitely been odd tonight, I feel like. They had that one long drive to start the game and then a bunch of 3 and outs, maybe 3 pick up a first down and then out. But Tigers defense has definitely stepped up after that first drive.
Tigers defense over looking at the screen right now. And that one, that might have gone through the uprights. That rode the wind.
Yeah.
You know, it's at our backs, but maybe I guess it's coming a little bit out of the south. So at kind of Windsor's backs, but man, that punt and that kickoff rode that wind. That's for sure.
Yeah, it landed on the tar behind the turf. If it didn't go through the uprights, it got real close, but either way, Tigers start from the 20.
So 1st and 10. Blake Barnett out there with 4 wide. From the 20, Barnett scans, gets the snap, drops, steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off, stiff arms a man, and then gets lassoed around the ankles as he crosses the 25 out to the 28 for an 8-yard pickup on 1st down.
Yeah, and good awareness by Barnett. Looking downfield, Wizards had a spy on him, but he was still able to pick up 8 yards.
I feel like we haven't seen the big, long Blake Barnett touchdown run so far this season. 2nd and 2 here for the Tigers. Barnett's going to run read. He's going to give it to Tolliver, who tried to press the hole and then bounce it. And that was Braylon. A pickup of 2 and a 1st down.
Yeah, and I wonder if the reason Barnett's run game hasn't been so good is because of his success in track. People realize, oh, this guy runs a 10.6. Maybe we should prepare for his run game.
Maybe we should double spy him.
Yeah.
1st and 10. Read option. Give to Tolliver on the right side. Tolliver following blockers. Big hit away from the ball. And a nice run there by Tolliver. That was just kind of a cloud of white jerseys leading the charge, and Tolliver picked up 11.
Yeah. Barnett got dumped down on the near side. I don't know if you saw that. And he looked like he was going to run in retaliatorily, but kept his head cool, and Tigers pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, that was a little worrisome there for a second. So ball to 41, 4:18 left to go here in the 3rd. Tigers with an 11-point lead in the ball. Ball at the far hash. Barnett takes, looks, scans, tries to get out of pressure, spins, throws it away. Nobody in the very near vicinity, but that was past the line. I thought he was outside the pocket.
Flag is down.
And now here comes the flag. All right, well, what do I know? If anything, I've proven over and over that I don't know as much as I would like to think I know about football, because I'm continually wrong in the rules here.
Yeah, and Barnett isn't happy about that. I'm not convinced he got outside the tackle box there. It's hard to tell from this angle. It's on the very far side of the field, probably 80 yards away from where we are, but either way, Tigers lose a down and 10 yards on that.
2nd and 20. 31, got to get to the 49 in Windsor territory. Barnett, he's going to run read. He's going to keep it himself. Bursts up the middle, bounces off a defender, gets to the edge. Here he goes! Blake Barnett running down the sideline. Going to stop and cut it back in and twist inside the 30. And, of course, we lost our camera signal right as that had happened. Sorry about that, folks, but nice run there by Blake Barnett.
Yeah, and as we were talking about it, Barnett finally gets that big run play to the near side, just breaking tackles right away, and then a lot of yards after contact, and Tigers almost to the red zone.
46 yards on the run play there for Blake. Oh, they'll spot it at the 23. We'll redo that math. There's the jet sweep to Ronan Ward. Right side, Ronan's going to put his foot in the ground. He'll spin forward, and a nice gainer there on first down from Ronan Ward. That'll be a first down and a 12-yard pickup. And the wind really whipping here, and we keep losing our signal. By the way, that was a 46-yard game. My math is good.
Your math is right, yeah.
3 minutes to go here in the quarter. Barnett in the shotgun. Looking, plenty of time. Now we'll roll. He's going to take it himself, and there's a flag, and that'll be a hold. Would have been an 11-yard scamper for Barnett, and they're going to call a hold out on the edge.
And
we'll call that one against James Gottrin.
Just caught with the, excuse me, almost fell, not gonna lie. Caught with the hand of the peanut jar a little bit there. Cookie jar for the Tigers, and that touchdown revoked. That would have gotten Blake within 18.
Yeah, I'm not sure James Gottrin is suited up, so I'm not sure who the white 69 is for Erie. So I thought I saw him on the sideline, maybe a little banged up, not sure. Either way, first and goal from the 21. Barnett, the slant to Cave, and Cave back in. Nice to see him there, and a quick little pitch and catch there for about 10 yards.
And the safety for Windsor has been playing really deep tonight to try and take away that deep shot for the Tigers, and the slant routes have worked very well for Barnett.
So 2nd and 11 from the 11. They say they can get a first down inside the 1. Barnett rolls to the near side, looks, fires the out and skipped it, trying to find his receiver going toward the pylon. I think that was Alex Sweeney looking for TD number 3. So 3rd and 11 from the 11. Barnett and Lusk in the backfield. It'll be Sweeney, Meredith to the top of the formation, Levine and O'Brien to the bottom side. We have yet to hear from Donnie. And on cue, there's the pass to Donnie. What a catch he made inside of the 1. He reached behind him and snared it, and that's enough for the first down.
That was a really good catch. Defenders for Windsor saying that ball hit the ground. Officials are now going to talk about it, I think.
I didn't think it did. I thought he reached back and plucked it. Yeah, they're going to give him the first down.
And it is a first down, so Tigers maybe going to do the tush push, as they call it in Philadelphia.
And Barnett will dive into the end zone for another touchdown for Blake Barnett. His 2nd rushing touchdown, and he is now 18 away on the 1-yard pickup. 4 touchdowns tonight for number 3. With 2:04 remaining, the Tigers take a 25-8 lead, and they're gonna, not sure what they're gonna do. Trying to cover our mic here. A lot of wind whipping in. No extra wind socks for our mics either. Left those back in the storage room. Hoffman will line up for the extra point, and a flag coming in. And is that a delay? Illegal substitution? No idea. It is a delay. What's interesting is there's no white hat official tonight.
Yeah, I did notice that.
So not sure what's up with that. So back up the extra point just a little bit. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is right down Broadway into the wind. That looked like it hit a wall. And so with 2:04 left to go in the quarter, it's 26-8 Tigers on top.
So only 5 plays on that drive for the Tigers. That started on their own 20. And that is, after the 3 and out on the first drive, that is a good sign for the Tigers offense. And going down the stretch, only thing they really need to work on is just coming out of the gate strong. 2 games in a row where the Tigers started with a 3 and out on offense. Maybe even 3 games in a row.
Tigers dummy the onside. Now they'll back out of it. So 2 rushing touchdowns tonight for Barnett, 2 passing touchdowns. Tigers have only surrendered 1 score. As this one into the wind, pretty good. Fielded at the 2. And somehow not going down was the returner, and he took a big hit at the legs. And for a moment, that looked like it was going to be down well inside the 20, and somehow Trip Thomas didn't go down.
Yeah.
Somehow Trip Thomas's knee and all its ligaments stayed intact.
Yeah, that was another big hit from Carson Hageman, and Thomas just didn't go down. That was surprising and a big return.
Man, when I saw that hit, my first thought was, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Trip Thomas. By the way, Preston Terranova that has come out with the helmet off, so I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I think that he hobbled off the field after that. I think his ankle is just really bothering him.
1st and 10. Snap, give, up the middle, and Tigers really bottle that one up. No gain on the play for Big Lichtenberg. And he was a little slow getting off.
I think he was just had a Tiger defender on top of him there.
So 2nd down and 11. Phelps will pitch it to Thomas. Kind of a little end around. And he will pick his way forward for about 3 yards. His 4th carry of the night. Wizards 111 on the ground, only 21 through the air. 132 total. The Tigers 281 total tonight.
And those 20 yards have been from pretty much 2 passes for the Wizards, as I can recall. A lot of incompletions for Phelps out of the backfield.
So 3rd and 7 here for the Wizards, and with 58 seconds left in the quarter, we're gonna have a timeout, or no, a flag from the far side, maybe an illegal substitution. And Chris Jones way out there on the field again. If you could see me and Dylan, we are basically like hunched around our mics. I'm talking into my computer. We've got the code up. We are trying to shield the wind. I know that is probably not fun to listen to at home. At least it's not fun in our ears.
Yeah.
So there was a flag with no administration of a penalty of any sort. It's a sideline warning. Sideline warning on a dead ball.
And Terranova back out there.
So Preston trying to be a trooper out there. I'd almost pick on him if I was Windsor, just to test him. I know he is a ball hawk, but Thomas instead will sprint away from him. They'll hand it off to Lichtenberg. Lichtenberg will get absolutely swarmed by white jerseys. And a pickup of maybe a couple. So Lichtenberg has 85 yards rushing, but the Tigers in his last 7 runs have not allowed him greater than a 3-yard gain. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Barnett back deep.
Yeah, Windsor offense just hasn't been able to get anything going. Their only points are because of the muffed punt.
Well, I imagine this punt will ride the wind, and it will, and Barnett will call a fair catch, and he'll go back, and he will assure the catch all the way back at his own 11, and that's where the Tigers will take over with 4.5 ticks of the clock left here in the 3rd quarter.
And I thought for a second that catch stung Barnett. He was walking to the near side. He was just throwing his catching gloves to the trainer, but he has a 4.5 seconds here. One more play for the Tigers in the 3rd. It's been a very strong quarter for the Tigers.
1st and 10 for Erie. Barnett in the shotgun. He's got a quartet of receivers. He'll hand off to Tolliver. Tolliver, a big hole. He's racing into the open field, and Braylon Tolliver, nobody. Oh, he will get caught. I tried to say nobody will catch him. He just got caught inside the 5. I jinxed it. And Tolliver's hurt. He is on the ground. I think he's just cramping though. And maybe that's why he didn't house it, as he started to cramp on that run.
And that was a very good chase down tackle, looking like a little bit like DK Metcalf there was the safety for Windsor, and I think it is just cramps for Tolliver.
80, it depends on the spot. It would have been an 87-yard run had he housed it. I think they put him down at around the 2 or so, and actually a Windsor Wizard is hurt. And it's cramps for the Wizards as well. So both teams take, well, that was the last play of the quarter. All right, exciting last play of the quarter. Tigers have great field position when we come back here on the Erie Tiger Network. Yeah. And a short little break there between quarters. It was 83 yards on the carry for Braylon Tolliver. That's got to be one of the longest plays you'll see that doesn't result in a touchdown.
Yeah, probably just the reason Braylon got caught is because he just got tired at the end of that run. It's a long ways to run in all those pads.
Barnett drops the snap, now picks it up, tries to spin out. He flips it to Lusk, and Lusk will lean it across the goal line.
Wow.
Wow is right. 5-yard touchdown pass from Barnett to Lusk. I think that was a pass. I think that was forward.
That was, some would call that luck, but either way, what a great play from Barnett after dropping the snap. Just the awareness to get the head up, and Lusk also awareness to get to the sideline and be ready for a pass.
They will have to watch the drone footage on that one to determine whether that was forward or backward. I think that was forward.
It seemed forward. I think so.
And so that would be touchdown pass number 3 on the night for Blake Barnett, which would put him at 5 total, which would put him at 17 away. As that is up and good. And the Tigers lead it 32-8. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't born a leader.
It wasn't given to me.
I couldn't buy it.
Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network, 33-8 after the extra point. Tigers lead it, and as Dylan said, it was only, a 12-second drive?
Yeah, and by the reaction from the bench, I think that was a pass from Barnett. That's what it kind of seemed like. They were like, oh, Blake, you got another touchdown. But that was a very, very efficient drive for the Tigers after the long run from Tolliver, and then just a spectacular play from Barnett there for the touchdown.
Here's the kick. That one is into the end zone, right in the wind. That's a nice little boot there. Is that Mason Gouvin on the kick? 35?
I don't know. I don't know who it is.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Wizards. They are in a deep hole now. So you got to imagine they will be in aerial attack mode. Handoff up the middle. Tigers, they have just kind of figured out. I saw Coach Hageman after they gave up the touchdown, really coaching up that defense hard, the defensive line coach for the Tigers. And he played D-line out at West Point for Army. And, well, he knows a thing or two and was getting after it there, and I think they've responded nicely, have these Tigers. There's a pass on the bubble screen. Kaveh Meredith had the initial stop, and man, good job just kind of fighting off tackles was Gavin Helm, and turned a definite loss there into about a 2-yard gain.
And Windsor, they really just need some points here to hopefully keep them up in the Max Prep standings after this game. And their best way to get points, I think, will be on plays like that where they just try to get some yards after catch going to the sidelines.
You know, what's impressed me tonight is just the way the Tiger defense has swarmed to the ball. The defensive backs have been all over these receivers, and there's a little false start, and that'll back up the Wizards. A little flinch there by Helm, who just had the pass catch.
And something I've noticed tonight, I feel like the Tigers have been less penalized versus their previous games. The players that are in the E-team class, they were joking about how the Tigers may be the most penalized team in America, and haven't really seen much of that tonight.
3rd and 10 here. Little bubble, almost too high. Ronan Ward came in there. I mean, you just have really good athletes in there on the defensive backfield for Erie. I mean, Noah Garcia, that dude is fast. He's athletic. Blake Barnett, probably the best safety in the state when he's back there. Preston Terranova, he's played like a first-team All-State corner this year. Ronan Ward is an electric athlete. Kave Meredith is a heck of an athlete. So just across the board, the Tigers have some good athleticism in that defensive backfield, and now you're getting strong D-line play. That makes for a potent defense. Fair catch called for and caught at the 41 by Preston. And with 10:02 remaining in the fourth, the Tigers, who lead it 33-8, will trot back on the field with Blake Barnett, who has, we think, 5 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 2 on the ground tonight. Looking for maybe 1 more.
Maybe even 2 more if time comes to that, but might start seeing some of those Tigers starters coming out if they get one here soon.
Meredith out wide with Sweeney. Barnett will throw the curl route to Kave. A little bobble, a broken tackle. Kave up the sideline, and there's the athleticism of Kave Meredith that we were just talking about.
And the Tigers receivers have been just breaking tackles a lot of times tonight.
Barnett has hit 7 different receivers tonight. Kave the most with 3 catches. Lusk in the backfield with Blake. He will, no, that is not Lusk. Barnett will keep it himself. Oh, sidesteps the defender. He'll hold the ball out, and he will house it. 50-yard touchdown run for Blake Barnett. We said we hadn't seen him bust the big one. We did there, and I think he also got a little flag.
That was a kid wearing stripes jumped over the fence and threw a fake flag onto the field. You can see him running over it in the practice field back there.
Oh my goodness.
That is
good
hilarious.
Eye, Dylan, good eye.
I saw that. I saw him climbing over the fence right here. He ran right over the track, he never went onto the field. He threw the flag, and the Tigers, they were pointing at him as he ran off the field and into the night. That might be something you don't see ever again. That was odd.
Well, 3 touchdowns for Blake on the ground tonight, 3 through the air. The Tigers will go for the conversion here. And we said we hadn't seen him bust the big one, and man, Blake made that look just effortless. That little tiny juke, and he housed it. Tigers a little bit late getting personnel on here. I can't believe we set a fake ref come on the field. The snap is up, and it is good. All right, the kick is up, and it is good, and it is a 40-8 lead, a 32-point lead for the Tigers. And Blake, go ahead.
Second most points of the season for the Tigers now after that touchdown. They scored 38 against Montrose and then 56 against Mullen and 40 tonight with still 9:45 to play.
Blake Barnett, 16 touchdowns away? 16. He's holding up 6 fingers into the camera. He's got 6 tonight for Erie.
He's gotten more than a quarter of the way in one game. That is impressive from Barnett.
So 9:45 remaining. The Tigers' offense has been efficient, to say the least. 2 plays in back-to-back drives. And this offense starting to click a little bit more. It just felt like they've been clawing at the surface of really starting to click, and tonight, kind of everything coming together. And enjoy games that are still games in the fourth quarter, because you may, after that Loveland game next week, you may start seeing some laughers the rest of the season until playoffs.
Yeah, and something that I just noticed is that the Tigers on the kickoffs, they've had Tyler Hoffman kind of stay back and play safety almost to prevent the big play. And I feel like that's something you don't see very often. He's just kind of just hovering around the 40 or 45 of the Tigers on kickoffs, and maybe that's the Tigers' answer for getting rid of the big play.
I'm still laughing at the fake ref, man. I can't believe that. I have, between high school, college, and pro, I have watched a lot of football. I have not seen that one yet. Goodness.
His outfit was pretty convincing too. He was wearing a hat and everything, had black pants. The stripes he had a couple too many stripes, but black and white. The flag looked real, and when he threw the flag up, he waved his hands like an official too. It was the whole shebang.
Oh man.
And now there's a couple of administration standing over where he hopped the fence.
There's the fake. There's the pitch. Ball is on the ground, rolling backward inside the 5, still on the ground, and the Tigers fall on it in the end zone. Not sure. Oh, they call that down. How do you call that down? When did it stop? Oh, man, they're going to blow it dead at the 4. I missed that one. When it was clear possession. So they'll call Windsor down way back, and it's 3rd and a country mile. They're all the way back at the 5. So loss, I don't know, that's a big loss. Here comes the pass. The curl route underneath. Tigers will happily give that one up, and now they'll just stop the play. Hey, if anything, you already brought it up. The best part of the night for the Tigers has been the lack of flags, by far. They have really cleaned things up for the most part.
Almost had more flags from fake officials than real officials.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I actually thought they might flag Blake, who started celebrating from 20 yards out, and then he did the little Deion Sanders dance.
Yeah.
That's what I was watching, and then you caught the fake official.
I think they're out looking for him now with an ATV out there.
Yeah, they got the gator up and running with the lights. They're looking for an at-large referee.
Oh, my goodness.
Put an APB out for a man in stripes. 8:13 remaining here in this one. The Tigers lead it 40-8 on a very windy evening in Windsor. Timeout by the Wizards. Tiger fans, don't forget to follow us on social media. Our plan and hope is to have, I think, a Broomfield game broadcasted under the lights for softball next week. Golf is still running full tilt. I am a spread thin man here, Dylan. I'm sorry I've not called more Tiger sports this fall, folks. Meredith almost gets in there for the block, and this is a real short punt. You yell, poison, poison, poison. That almost touched an Erie Tiger. That actually touched a Wizard first, and then it touched a Tiger. So I don't think it can be a turnover, and the Wizard is just going to drop the ball there at the 31. Yeah, so if you were to, the officials are talking it over because it did hit a Tiger, but it was touched first by a Wizard. And once you touch it, Erie could fumble it, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Dead ball. All right, so 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ronan Ward will come out at quarterback. Jackson Jamison out there at center. Got to get that one in. Proud Papa here on the sideline producing this one for us. Handoff over the left side and kind of bursting into the mass of bodies is, well, I'm not sure. Well, I don't have a 16 on our home roster. So we'll try and figure that out. Maybe if you know who 16 is, you can help us out. I think it's Jack Carnival, actually. There you go. I should know that. Ronan Ward will keep it there on the edge, and Ronan Ward will take it up the sideline. And Ronan, explosive and shifty and fun to watch play football. He's just a favorite of mine. I always love watching Ronan with the ball in his hands. Gets it from the 34 up to the 17.
Yeah, and I would love to see Ronan get a couple reps at running back. He had that really, really big game in the quarterfinal against Ponderosa last year. And he just is so shifty with the ball.
Ronan Ward has runs of 12 and 16 yards here for the Tigers. Now a handoff to Jack Carnival and a nice little jump cut there. And this staff has had many nice things to say about Jack Carnival. And Jack did not play his freshman year. He has not played for a little while football, and he comes back out this year, and already he's worked his way up to third string running back, and they really like his instincts. They just say he just kind of knows what to do once the ball is in his hands. So a 6-yard gain for Jack and a fumble there, and the Tigers will have to jump on it.
Just slipping through the hands of Ronan Ward on that. Good job by him to jump on the ball. And I would just like to see the Tigers get 3 more points here so we can get that running clock for the first time this year.
Don't they need 8 more?
No, 8 more points.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
Math is hard. Math is hard.
We're broadcast people. Ward will stretch it to the near side, throws against the grain off the hands of a defender, and that will fall to the turf. And that'll bring up 4th and about 13 here for the Tigers.
So we'll get to see
Tyler Hoffman.
Tyler Hoffman get a rep in here, place kicker. A non-extra point rep. Don't see that very often for the Tigers, just settling for 3.
6:04, by the way, the time remaining in this one. We'll have to have, yep, I was about to say, I think Mr. Zach Worth there is going to shuttle us in, a Worth Chiropractic player of the game, and he had someone in mind early, and oh, that one was just pulled just a touch to the near side. And he has changed that, and I think for good reason. Our Worth Chiropractic good health, good player of the game is Blake Barnett. 6 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 3 on the ground, 154 yards passing on 18 attempts, 132 yards rushing on only 10 attempts. That's 13 yards a carry.
That's math for you. That's something we're good at. We're good at writing the program.
13.2 yards. Shoot. All right, 1st and 10 here. Wizards have also, I think, put in their backups, a little read give, and the Tigers will swarm and engulf that one. And we're just going to have to fire back and forth between our roster. That was Cooper Lettuce on the tackle. Just a 1-yard pickup there. 5.5 minutes and counting here, and the Tigers will get a big loss there in the backfield. I think Noah Tucker and Cooper Lettuce getting in there. I think I also saw, who else was that in there? I think that was Marco Antillion getting in on the action. We'll try and call up all these players' names and see a little bit of time here tonight.
And thought for a second I saw 32 out there, but at 31 and 33 out there. No Dylan Fireball in this game.
Kyler Colbert just cleared this week. Dylan said he would play some in the JV game. There's a post pass. What a dime drop there by the backup, and a good job coming in and making the tackle is Evan Tuski.
That was a nice pass, but good chase down tackling from the Tigers there.
That was the longest play of the game for the Wizards.
Wow.
I don't even know how many yards it was. I just know for sure it was the longest because before that it was 13 yards. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah, pretty good defense from the Tigers. As over the past few games, their big issue on defense was the big play, and not seeing that tonight.
4:07 and counting here for the Wizards. Trying to get an eye on their cube here. I believe that's Wyatt Gustafson. And Gustafson will have to figure out how to grab the ball. There was a hit low. The Tigers thought he fumbled, and it's a loss of maybe a yard. Wyatt a little bit struggling there in ball handling in the backfield after dropping a dime there. Now there's a firework back in the direction where we saw a referee. This is a little bit of everything. We've seen some smoke, some high winds, some fake referees, 6 touchdowns for the Tigers, fireworks. What else? What else? So Gustafson again will hand it off. Nice little stiff arm there. And the Windsor running back will get slung out of bounds after a nice gain from the 38 all the way down to the 20. So an 18-yard pickup there. I think that was Sam Cooper on the carry. Under 3 minutes to go here as the clock stops for the ball going out of bounds. The smoke's still rolling in. I don't really smell it anymore, or I'm just nose blind to it.
I don't smell it either.
Maybe it's just the baseball dirt blowing in.
Maybe.
Handoff, stutter, and weaving through traffic is Easton Hubbard for the Wizards. And he will get it from the 20 down to about the 12, an 8-yard pickup there for Hubbard. Tiger personnel run it coming in and out.
And this, if the Wizards score, could be their longest drive of the game.
So 2nd and 3 to go at the 13. Handoff, no, a keeper. Gustafson makes one man miss, now spins right into the arms. Was that Evan Towski? It was. He missed the first tackle. He did not miss the second tackle. In fact, I think he stamped Gustafson into this turf.
Real nice turf.
Into the, what did they say? It was grind up pine trees instead of rubber pellets. And it is beautiful. We got here, we were like, whoa, that's some nice turf. And then we went to the sideline, and the Erie coach was like, this is some nice turf. Minute and a half left. As the Tigers on the brink of another victory. With 1:21 left. Hey, our hotspots held up. A big thanks to the Harner family for supplying us with an extra hotspot. We used an app called Speedify to kind of bond that with our mobile hotspot. So we had some pretty good service here tonight up in Windsor. And it's just been a great night overall, an interesting night. But the Tigers will move to 4-1, and they will come home next week on a Friday night to play Loveland, the Red Wolves, for their homecoming game. Really, that to me is a big revenge game because they got smacked last year. They went up to Loveland, and it was just probably the ugliest game that I've seen the Tigers play in the last, I don't know, maybe since before Chad Cooper was the head coach.
Yeah, the Loveland game was the only game last year that I didn't watch. And
well, be thankful.
Yeah, and it's going to be the only game other than the Florida game this year that I don't watch. Hopefully.
Third and 5. Handoff right side, and another nice little tackle there out in open space. That was Sam Cooper that ran that on 3rd and 5, and it was a pickup of 2. I think Cooper Lettuce might have been in there. I know Gabe Sama is over there on that side. Marco Antillion, not your prototypical DT in there, but good to see him getting some run. Wizards trying to convert on a 4th and 2, 35 seconds left. The snap, the play action, the ball's deflected in the air, incomplete. And getting in there nicely for the deflection,
Gabe Sama.
I actually thought that was perhaps even Dylan Firebaugh that got that.
I think Firebaugh's been over here on the sideline.
I thought I saw a 30.
Nah, Firebaugh's right there on the sideline. Sama reacted like he got the deflection on that.
All right, I'll trust it. You've been on it all night.
But
so victory formation here for the Tigers. Ronan Ward, another firework going off in the background. The Tigers singing na 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 na, hey hey goodbye. There's a kneel down. They'll wind the clock, and that will do it. So the Tigers win it by a final score of 40-8. Any thoughts on this one, Dylan?
I thought this was a very good game from the Tigers. They've played now 4 real strong games in a row, and they just need to keep that momentum going for 5 more weeks. They can get into those playoffs and hopefully make a run at that state title that has been so elusive for them the past few years. But this game was just another stepping stone for the Tigers. Real good defensive play. Barnett really showing how good he is in the backfield, and a big win for the Tigers.
Well, for Noah Ortiz and Chad Jamison, by the way, a special thanks to the Jamison's neighbors who supplied us with a generator for today's game, so we had power. So thanking all kinds of people across the network. Good job by Block 8 getting some assets in. For Dylan Richardson, I'm Brandon Bird. For everyone across the Erie Tiger Network, we hope you have a great night. One more time, the Tigers win it by a final score of 40-8. They move to 4-1. That's going to do it for our broadcast of Erie Sports tonight. Until next time, Tiger fans, I'll chirp at you.